Hey folks, this is the recap for the legislative week on this one, and we were all over the place. So it's going to be a little disjointed. So we're going to start out with a bill that I had in the Foreign Affairs Committee. It's called the Falun Gong Protection Act, and maybe you don't know this, but there's a religious group, Chinese people, that are persecuted by the Chinese Communist Party. And the really horrifying thing, it's all horrifying, but the really horrifying thing is the forced organ harvesting. They literally, I don't know whether you know this or not, but in China, there's no waiting list for organs. So what that means is there's a ready supply. There's a ready supply because they take them from healthy, living people, particularly these folks that practice the religion of Falun Gong. And so we offered this bill. We've done it for a couple of sessions now, and finally moved it across the finish line in the House to draw awareness, raise awareness to this issue, and to sanction anybody involved in the illegal organ harvesting trade. And so it's a great milestone to draw attention to this for the international community. And the great news as well is every single person in the House of Representatives voted in favor of the bill. So that's number one. Number two, what was number two?
Can you talk to us about the work you did in the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee?
So we were working on the Water Resources Development Act and the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and it deals with things like locks and dams and levees and navigation and those type of things. My concern, I had an amendment on the bill. We've got a thing in Pennsylvania called the Delaware River Basin Commission, which is a compact, which means it involves Pennsylvania, New York, Delaware, New Jersey, Maryland, etc., anybody in that Delaware River Basin watershed, and they make decisions for Pennsylvanians. And one in particular that I think is very egregious is that the DRBC has disallowed hydraulic fracturing in the watershed. That essentially takes all those mineral rights and property rights away from Pennsylvania and gives them to unelected bureaucrats. I'm fine with the Pennsylvania legislature deciding that. I might disagree or not, but at least those are elected officials. But these folks are not elected, and they're not accountable to anybody, and they should not have the ability to take property and mineral rights away from anybody, especially Pennsylvania. So that's what I worked on. Unfortunately, that amendment did not pass, and there were other problems with the bill, so I voted no on that.
What about your conversation in the hearing with the Secretary Buttigieg?
Also in transportation, Secretary Buttigieg came in. You can probably see this online. I thanked him for his recent visit to Pennsylvania, including the work on the I-83, the South Bridge over the Susquehanna. But then I had a lot of particular questions for him about the administration, President Biden's policy regarding electric vehicles. And I think you should have the choice to buy one if you want to, but we literally have dealers coming to us as members of Congress saying, can you please make them stop it? We can't sell these vehicles. And so what they're doing is we're subsidizing, your tax dollars are subsidizing the production of the vehicles, much of the components coming from China, by the way, and you're also subsidizing the purchase of those vehicles, which is also increasing the price of non-electric vehicles while reducing the supply of non-electric vehicles, while at the same time imperiling the financial viability of the auto manufacturers. I asked a lot of questions. We had an exchange. He said that my facts were wrong. I would just encourage you to go look at the facts that I listed there. I've sent them out on X, formerly Twitter, and you can go see the facts that I cited there.
What about the appropriations bills the House passed?
So we moved 3 appropriations bills. So appropriations means we're spending your money. We're determining how and where to spend it. There were 3 of them. Defense, which I voted in favor of, a pretty good bill. The Homeland Security one I voted no on, particularly because of an agency called CISA, Cyber Intelligence portion of that bill. These are the folks that are supposed to keep us safe from Chinese electronic incursion or Russian or North Korean or Iranian or what have you. But unfortunately, they've also used it to spy on Americans and provide disinformation about critical things like elections. And we're giving them more money, which I don't think is the answer until we get some of those things resolved. And then finally, state and foreign operations. That's the Department of State and the spending overseas. And I voted in favor of that. Those were the 3 bills for the week. So that's the recap or the kind of wind up for the week. And I want to say that as you go into next weekend, I hope you have a wonderful and safe and thoughtful Independence Day. Thank you.